position. So I think Barcelona fans will be happy at the very least to see him more in the midfield. Although I still found it interesting because at first against Chelsea, when I saw Roberto play in the midfield, I said, okay, it's about time, right? But then you see Oriol Busquets playing at right back, who normally is a midfielder as well. So again, some of it by necessity, some of it
excellent from Jaime here. Malcolm hammers that off the top of the post. Failed to go in there. Malcolm's had a really nice day for himself, an assist and nearly a goal. Now Kobe off in the other direction. Letting this hang around just a little bit.
Sergio Roberto keeping that play on side, wasn't he? Not to recover. A better team would have probably punished Barcelona on this one, but as you've said, there he is. Malcolm playing through the middle. Had that opportunity hitting the crossbar right there. Maybe got a little bit too excited and too much power on that. Just needed a little composure. We'll give him a pass though. I mean, he doesn't usually see himself centrally in front of goal that often.
He did have a dozen goals for Bordeaux last year. This is settled by Roberto. Back Monchu. Heard his name much. Todibo. Comes to De Jong. He's pretty excited to get into Kobe, enjoy himself a bit. Big sushi fan, he said, in the lead up to the game. And that'll fly a bit too far.
Here's the look, and Malcolm, the ball comes in, he sets it in. Yeah, you can see he gets underneath that. Just a little bit of a bounce, a little bit of a bobble before he strikes that ball.
August 4th, just before 4 o'clock, Minnesota United taking on the Portland Timbers on ESPN and the ESPN app. Tune in Major League Soccer.
Good season for Minnesota United so far. Portland, after all those games away from home, big win in Cascadia, away to Seattle Sounders for Portland Timbers and Giovanni Tavares. Being interesting.
It's a really nice sight to see Minnesota United finally put it all together. They got the stadium and the whole spine of their team totally redone with Alonso, and goalkeepers have been quite good. And of course, Eichel Para coming into central defense. It's been good.
Still a young team. Sometimes it takes a while, right? I mean, we see FC Cincinnati going through this as well. Not everyone can be like Atlanta United and LAFC, of course, hitting form in the first season, and Atlanta winning in the second. LAFC with a big win last night, of course, against Atlanta, 4-3. Yeah. You and I were sleeping, given how early this game is. Of course, has to be 4-3, right?
Speak for yourself. By the way, the oddity of the schedule with Minnesota and Portland, they play in the Open Cup 3 or 4 days later. Same venues, same teams. Maybe a few less internationals on the field with the rules there, but that's on ESPN+.
And if you're wondering why we're talking about Major League Soccer right now, because we're waiting for Barcelona to give us something extra, something special here at the moment.
Maybe Kobe is the one that will give us a headline here late on. It's been met in Wellington. Not nearly enough to do much with it.
Yeah, I mean, we like to see some play in wide areas for him to get loose. I think he needs that ball played to him early for him to be effective. He's missing David Villa.
Oh, Dembele. Dembele. A Makawa down to ground.
You know, when you're making a run like this, which by the way is positive, but you're making that run towards your own players, you could see Carlos Perez and Malcolm not really knowing where to go, right? You know, that's a skill, by the way, finding your way away to create space for Ousmane Dembele. But you could see that run was so long and so intricate that those two had no idea where to go.
Here we go again. This time, final pass off the mark. Dembele trying to get forward. Ball collected here. That's just leading touch here. Ultimately, play breaks down. Nakasaka, what was in the 3rd division of Spain last year.
Yeah, that's a great use of body right there. Just riding that initial contact defensively. A good recovery as well. But yeah, in the second half, vissel Kobe have been pretty good.
Just a couple more changes here for vissel Kobe. Kobayashi set to come on. He debuted with the first team last year coming out of the U system there. He's a special designated player, they call it, a system that allows university players in. And Semper comes off, the former Barcelona man. That's steered the other way. It's funny, if there's one guy who's going to get a swan song on the way off the field in front of the Barcelona crowd, Semper was the last guy I was going to pick.
Yeah, I don't think we're surprised Semper getting a little bit more playing time. He hasn't seen all that much of it, so it just makes sense to use this in order to get game fit.
Been out for a month. Guy who trialed at 6 years old and stuck around at Barca all those years. 18 years with the club. And Yashimaru has come in goal. Nice day for Makawa, all things considered.
We don't have that many looks. Decent save on Ricky Puig in the first half, if you remember, on that near post. One save on Rakitic. That wasn't really all that difficult. You're quite right. Perhaps it is telling that Barcelona, even though obviously they had their share of possession so far, which we expect, not too many looks. Much better in the second half. I think Ousmane Dembele and Malcolm in particular have had a pretty decent movement. But in terms of clear-cut chances, there haven't been that many for Barcelona.
Is it as simple as they need to move the ball faster? Is that really all it is?
Yeah, just the movement without the ball. I think that's an issue. And yes, I mean, it is a preseason. I think we'll judge Barcelona when they maybe come to the United States for those 2 matches against Napoli. It'll be probably, let's talk in a little bit, a month into the preseason as well. Very close to their first game against Bilbao as well. So I don't want to be too critical of that, considering the fact they're still missing some key players.
Whatever day they end up playing Bilbao, that's
yeah,
La Liga,
there, right?
yeah, Federation and La Liga can't seem to nail that down at present. Their first fixture gets lifted out of play. Valverde looks on. Ooh, dangerous potential here. Malcolm has an assist already. He assisted that man, Perez.
Good for Malcolm once again, right? If I had to look at this game objectively and who the best players were in the first half, I'd probably go for Alex Payado. Not necessarily the players I would pick. In the second half, Malcolm has been very, very good. One player that's disappointed. Actually, a couple of players that I thought would take this as a big opportunity have disappointed me so far. In the first half was Ricky Puig.
Perez! Oh, that's an excellent finish. Make it 2 for Carlos Perez. Barcelona seemingly puts a bow on this one in Japan.
Well, he's just taken over from Malcolm as the player of the second half. Perez very much involved. That first goal was absolutely outstanding. The way he kind of created for himself in terms of combining with Malcolm. And as we take a look at here, once again, look at this. Just Using the defender as a bit of a shield going to the far post. Perfectly struck ball right there. You can see the goalkeeper way out of position, way past that post. Watch the goalkeeper here. Makes it a little bit easier for that because that far post is wide open. So yeah, it is Carlos Perez. Although Malcolm, honorable mention, that is for sure. But the two players that disappointed me, just to finish my thought, was Ricky Puig in the first half and Carlos Alenia. Two players that we often talk about in terms of young players maybe getting integrated into this team. They have been disappointing.
You think about it, Alenia was just given a new 3.5-year deal back in December. Clearly they see something coming there. Perez, two fine finishes. First two goals for the first team. He scored a dozen goals for Barca B. Nasu's come on for Masayama as Vissel Kobe clears off the remnants of their bench. And the Turnham TT, who dealt with that knee injury last year that hampered him for the majority of the season. Roberto. The second half man of the match, Perez. Barcelona, a totally different 11 in the second half, and that's where they found their two goals.
Just more option. It seemed that in the first half, Antoine Griezmann was isolated, wasn't he? I mean, he didn't have the sort of support that you look at Carlos Perez, you look at Malcolm, you look at Dembele. I mean, they're attacking with front three, aren't they? In the first half, you saw none of that. I think Callado was pretty good, but Griezmann not only was coming deep into the midfield, which is something that he does, or he's done at Atleti as well, but there was really not one striker in that setup. I mean, Rafinha looked uncomfortable. There's just almost too many light players, too many midfielders being asked to make a significant difference going forward.
Belling trying to fight through. This will be a corner. Quickly put into play. De Jong. Simple clearance. And this is just off frame with a little touch from the goalkeeper to steer it wide. Well done by Yashimaru, who came in the final 15 minutes.
And Malcolm once again going near post. Yes, there was a touch. It was probably going wide, but you don't want to take any chances there.
And another quick corner. This one at Alenia. Well defended. I'll admit I am disappointed because I want to see what Antoine Griezmann, who said he's turning away from the Fortnite dances for his goal celebrations. Malcolm stabs it over. Dembele. Malcolm again. De Jong. De Jong curling.
Malcolm once again involved in this one. Ousmane Dembele, very disappointed that he didn't want to have a go with his right foot. I know it's not his favorite, but I think he needed to. You can see that Frankie de Jong was just trying to shape that ball.
Headed into a dangerous spot by the defense. Knocked across it, sliding down de Jong. It's become sloppy from Kobe right as we enter stoppage time. 3 added minutes.
And Carlos Alenia, I think he was looking for Frankie de Jong, but I think on its way it hit, was in Malcolm there. I think got in the way. Barcelona almost surprised how quickly that ball turned over. You saw 3 players in a good position to finish that off, lacking composure and patience.
Crowd continues to Toggle all the talent on the field, seemingly enjoying it. But, you know, again, just to hit this one more time, you know, it's the second birthday of Fortnite. I really thought Griezmann was going to give us something special. And
you're just going to have to wait. I'm sure it's coming. I'm sure he's going to get his share of goals. Look, decent run out here for this Barcelona team. Nothing special in particular. Carlos Perez, obviously the star of the second half. Malcolm, I thought, did well. The players I thought were going to be outstanding maybe weren't. And that, by the way, includes Frankie de Jong. And I was singing his praises. I think he's been just okay in that second half. I mentioned Ricky Puig was disappointing. Carlos Alenia, nothing special in particular. And let's be honest, those are the players that have the ability, right, to maybe get into that squad, maybe get some minutes here, or at least they're asking for it. I'm not sure they've showed anything special in this particular match.
Did have some creative moments, but wasn't quite as steady as the game against Chelsea. Kobe heading a little further on here. Shimoda watches this run out. Swung across here. De Jong, defensive header. It'll be another corner. After we wrap up here, Sports Center, Matt Berry, Jen Leda will bring us up all the news from Pat's camp, Yank Sox, latest on NFL holdouts. Sports Center coming up after the game. We'll be trying to give the home fans something to enjoy right before the full-time whistle. Over to Kobayashi, not over Dembele. One more chance here for Vissel Kobe, and that'll pit her out. Carlos Perez is the man of the hour for Barcelona, for Vissel Kobe. A beautiful opportunity to see Iniesta and David Villa against a long-time club, the one they're most identified with, without doubt. 2-0 to Barcelona, maybe a little lethargic, but they got the result.
Much better in the second half, that's for sure. Lively, and Carlos Perez being the star with 2 goals.
We'll wrap this one up when we come back. Barcelona, 2-0 win for Vissel Kobe in this friendly.
If you think that this is just a game, that goals are the only thing that matter, you are wrong. La Liga is so much more. La Liga is unstoppable drama, a belief that anything is possible, a global movement, a passion that unites us. La Liga is the feeling of soccer, an expression of passion, a way of life. And it's closer than ever.